Shabbat Shalom. Today is one of those days I really don't feel like doing this. I'm in one of my moods, I guess you can say. No, but feel does not dominate me. It does not control me. Shabbat Shalom. Today is the day that Yah has made, and gotta be glad in it. See, I need to be on task, be on duty, handle the business at hand. So the ways of operation of everyone, the mode of operation is different. Everybody's not the same. And far as it being time frames and things of that nature, we all on different time because for one, we lost the system. We lost the priests, the direct priests. We lost a lot of the things that navigated our culture and our heritage. See, these Moedim, right now we in the mode of rehearsing them. And when the kingdom reestablishes, they will be done properly and on time. Right now, many people will put a pressure on you about, okay, well, we shouldn't even be doing the feast in foreign lands. We're really not doing the feast because we don't have the priests. We're rehearsing them. I believe in this time, we should be doing a lot of reading of what was going on the feast so that we can remember some of the major missteps that happened with Israel is that we did not remember what had previously happened. We had not remembered the commandments and the instructions given us. And then we misstepped. And a lot of times it was not a misstep, it was obvious rebellion. We went completely against what Yah had to say. I'm not the normal brother. I'm flawed out of this world. And a lot of times, in that me being flawed, people say, well, you could do this, you could do that. They give me suggestions on how I could be more palatable to more people. And I'm like, but that's not me. That is not the lane that Yah has me in. And they say, well, it's not your lane, it's his. And I agree. One of my bros, my Akis, told me that. And I'm like, but I do know that I need to have some greater level of balance. But of course, this is a learning process and this is a walk. And yet I'm older in age, but still I'm rehearsing righteousness. I'm walking into righteousness. Yes, I'm obeying the Torah and the commandments as best as I can and trying to lead my home to do it. Right now, we're in my home. When other people have already did the Feast of Trumpets, we're going to, speak on the Feast of Trumpets. So, you know, I had another message that I was supposed to do this week, or that I thought that I was supposed to do, but I'm going to talk on the Feast of Trumpets. So let's get it going. Because right now some people are doing Sukkot and all this stuff like that, and nobody's matching up on time. And a lot of people will beat people up about that and stuff like that. But again, you're rehearsing. You should be close to the time, but I don't think any of us have the time right. And that's, again, my thoughts. So I'm going to go forth. Abba Yah, thank you for today, this Shabbat. May you guide and direct me to bring forth your word, not add or overlap myself into what is being brought forth, but bring forth what you want to be said. So I thank you for this time. I thank you for this moment, this Shabbat. Hallelujah. Okay, let me get it going. So, so often, I guess people express their own stories, and I'm good at doing that. I'm gonna go to the text and hit it up with what's in the text, and then also share a textual story that I believe lines up with these trumpets. I'm like, let the horns blow, let the trumpets blow. You know, let's get to it. Let's go to it. Let me share my page and get going. Hopefully, anybody that's listening can share their take, give me critique as well as comments and things of that nature to edify those others that are listening and that may be in the comments. So let's get going. Sharing the screen now. And I'm going to start off here with Wayikra or Leviticus 23. And verse 23 is where it's starting off right here. And it says, Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the seventh new moon acknowledges month. So in the seventh month, on the first day of the new moon, you are to have a rest, Shabbat, a remembrance of Teruah, the Feast of Trumpets. Feast of Trumpets. You do no servile work, and you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. Again, I'm not a priest. I don't specifically know that I'm of the Levitical line. Could be. So I'm not going to actually bring forth an offering by fire such as this, but I'm remembering this thing, making it known in my house. I'm guarding it by making it something that we talk about in my home, something that we remember, something that we acknowledge that is a foundational tool as well as a principle and instruction of Yah. All right. Going over here to Bimidbar. Numbers. I got a little bit of reading here, not much. And in the seventh new moon, basically it's restating the same thing. On the first day of the new moon, you have a set apart gathering. You do no servile work. It is Yom Teruah. Yom is day, Teruah, again, trumpet, it's the Feast of Trumpets again. And you shall prepare an ascending offering as a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. One young bull, one ram, 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones. At any of these feasts that are going on, that they're rehearsing or remembering, I don't think anyone is doing this. We don't have the priests. We're not prepared for this. So we're not actually doing. A lot of times when people hear keep the commandments, they think that you're actually doing stuff. It's guarding it. Right now, we don't have everything in place. And there are so many that teach that you should not be doing these things in the foreign land. We're not really doing them. We're remembering, we're rehearsing. Right now, I'm keeping Yom Teruah by speaking on it right now, bringing it to remembrance. And the grain offering, fine flour with oil, 3/10 of an ephah. Many of us don't even know what an ephah is to measure. We have not learned this measurement because we've been taught certain measurements of our own, this land that we're in, this land of captivity. 3/10 of ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the ram, and 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs, and 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. See, the Day of Atonement. Some people have done that. We haven't done that in my home. See, Day of Atonement is 10 days after Yom Teruah. So, yeah. Besides, the ascending offering with its grain offering for the new moon, new month. The continual ascending offering. See, we haven't been continually ascending offering. We don't have any priests. We have not been doing that. But acknowledging that it's supposed to be done, that is shamar. That's guarding it. That's keeping it fresh in your mind. You're not getting the concept of keep. The human thought is to take what you have before you and go with it. I get it. We take it literally. The word English in English keep is being I gotta do it. I gotta do it. But this is a Hebraic situation. So they use keep to describe a Hebraic situation, but the Hebrew word is shamar. It really means to guard. So it's not the same actually as what the English keep means. Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it. We are supposed to do it, but we're not in the position to do it. So we guard it. And there are so many commands that you actually can't keep. A command that's given to a priest and you're not a priest, you can't actually keep it. I mean, far as do it, the keep English keep, but you can shamar. You can guard it and say this is supposed to be done. Something that goes towards a woman and on her menstrual. A man doesn't have menstrual, so he can't do that. He can't keep it far as the English, word, but he can shamar. He can guide his daughter, his mother, his wife, and say, "Well, you're supposed to do this, this." All right. Besides the ascending offering with its grain offering for the new moon, the continual ascending offering with its grain offering, and drink offerings according to their right ruling as a sweet fragrance, an offering made by fire. Yep. Let's go over here. Well, I'm gonna skip over here. Skip. Let me see. I'm gonna go over here to Yahushua 6. This is not one of those long messages or whatever, because I'm basically just reading what the text is. I'm not adding anything. Let me see. I think I'm gonna start off with one and I'm gonna read down. But I want to show you something because I said your Feast of Trumpets. So the trumpet, or we call it the shofar, or they that as a culture, the shofar. So I think that's Shin, Fei or Pei, and Resh, shofar. So I'm gonna go over here to the Yahushua, and I've been on a major kick on Facebook talking about Yahushua because I don't feel like he gets any reverence and stuff like that. You know, his whole story has been superimposed and given to Yahusha. People think because I note this that I have disrespect towards Yahusha, but I don't. But I just said you can't forget the person that it was speaking about originally. But anyway, Yahushua, Joshua 6. And Jericho was shut up tight because of the presence of the sons of Israel. Notice it's not dealing directly with Yom Teruah, but I want to get on to this shofar because Yom Teruah is the trumpet. So you blowing the shofar. Shofar is a horn, but it also, your mouth is a shofar. So I'm going to go into this. None going out and none coming in. And Yahuwah said to Yahushua, see, I have given Jericho and its sovereign, mighty brave men into your hand. And you shall go around the city, all the men of battle, going around the city once. Do this for 6 days. And let the 7 priests, see, they had priests, bear 7 shafarat of the Yobelim before the ark. And on the 7th day, go around the city 7 times while the priests blow with the shafarat. And it shall be when they make a long blast with the horn of Yobel, and when you hear the voice of the shofar, the voice, the sound of the shofar, that all the people shout out with a great sound, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall go up every man straight before him. So I want to skip over him. I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to go over here to the blue letter. It allows. Okay. Dealing with other trumpet, you got shofar, or, you have the, okay, shin, va, and fe, and resh. So I might have said it wrong earlier. And then go over here to the definition. And shofar is going down. It says, in the original sense of incensing, a cornet, as giving clear sound, or a curved horn. Cornet, a trumpet. So going back, it's just trumpet. All right, 6. And said, and Yahushua, son of Nun, called the priests and said to them, take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 shafarat of Yabelim before the ark of Yahuwah. And he said to the people, pass over and go around the city, and let him who is armed pass over before the ark of Yahuwah. And it came to be, when Yahushua had spoken to the people, that 7 priests bearing the 7 shafarat of the Yabelim before Yahuwah passed over and blew with the shafarat, and the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah went after them. And the armed men went before the priests who blew the shafarat, and the rear guard came after the ark, going on and blowing with the shafarat. But Yahushua had commanded the people, saying, do not make a sound or cause your voice to be heard. Be silent, nor let any word come out of your mouth until the day I say to you, shout. Then you shall shout. So you see, it was talking about horns, but now it's talking about shouting. The horn is the shofar, but also the Israelite mouth is a shofar. If you ever notice, when we speak clear and loud, a lot of times our speech brings fear to other folks. We sound threatening to them. We sound lionly, like we're roaring, and we could just be talking, but it brings forth fear in a lot of people groups. Our voices magnify Yah. We are the shofar blowing. So right now, it's telling them to be silent, but they're going to eventually shout. When we cry out as a people, our shofar blows to Yah. He hears it. And the ark of Yahuwah went around the city, going around once. And they came into the camp and stayed in the camp. And Yahushua rose early in the morning, beginning of day, and the priests took up the ark of Yahuwah. And 7 priests bearing 7 shafarat of the Yabelim before the ark of Yahuwah were walking, going on, and they blew with the shafarat, and the iron men went before them. But the rear guard came after the ark of Yahuwah, going on and blowing with the shafarat. And the second day, they went around the city once and returned to the camp. Thus they did 6 days. And it came to be on the 7th day that they rose early and about the dawning of the day, and went around the city 7 times in this way. Only on that day they went around the city 7 times. 7 is very important in Israel. And it came to be at the 7th time, when the priest blew with the shafaret, that Yahushua said to the people, shout, for Yahuwah has given you the city, and the city shall be put under the ban, and it and all that it is in it belongs to Yahuwah. Only Rahab, one of the descendants of Yahusha, excuse me, the one we call Messiah, the anointed. Rahab is in his family line. Only Rahab, the whore, is to live, she and all who are with her in the house, because she hid messengers that we sent. So this woman of Jericho, another nation of people, is in the bloodline. Well, that's a whole nother narrative. And you, by all means, guard yourselves from that which is under the ban, lest you come under the ban when you take of that which is under the ban, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and shall trouble it. But all the silver and the gold and the vessels of bronze and iron are set apart to Yahuwah. They go into the treasury of Yahuwah. And the people shouted, Hallelujah! And when the priest blew the shafarat, and it came to be when the people heard the voice of the shofar, they heard the sound of the horn, and they heard the people, and the people shouted with a great shout that the wall fell down flat. They didn't take away stones. They didn't put a pickaxe to it. The shofar and their voice, and of course the spirit, the ruach of Yah, made that wall fall down flat. And this was a massive wall. And the people went into the city, and every man straight before him, and they captured the city. And they put under the ban all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox, and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword. And that's about it. That's about it. That's about it. I don't have to keep reading that. But again, we're in the time of Yom Teruah. I myself need to do a lot more studying on it. But when Yah sends the Messiah, the anointed one, to crack the sky, a horn will be blown. Victory will be on the other end of that. Our voices need to be lifted up. We need to magnify Yahuwah. Yes, there will be an arm that brings forth these things. But again, the majesty in them, the worship and the praise goes to Yahuwah. We acknowledge and reverence the high priest. We acknowledge and reverence all the sons of Yah, even the Messiah or the anointed one that we put, even though we are Messiah ourselves, we are anointed. The body is connected to the head. So if the head is Messiah, so is the body. But in the end, we don't put all worship and praise towards the body. We put it towards Yahuwah. And on this Feast of Trumpets, may your day of rest be great. May you remember Yah, remember his word, remember his feast. Abba Yah, we thank you for this feast day. Those that have already participated in it, those that will be participating in it, because we are doing it in remembrance of you. May they be given peace and rest. May there not be any frustrations, no arguments between, one group or another because of the time. We don't have to celebrate division anymore. May we come together and enjoy times with one another. May one man who's having the feast this day be joined by men that are feasting on another day. May they share upon the feast so that we can remember it together. I thank you, Yah, for this day. I thank you for the ability to get up, even though I didn't feel, and I'm not infallible, but I'm still pressing forth, even when I don't feel like doing what I'm supposed to do. May others get the motivation to get up and do what they're supposed to do, even when they don't feel like doing it. Shabbat Shalom and Hallelujah. Glory to Yahuwah. Hallelujah.